Update with the balance changes went live, and now I will just review. I made a list of everything, and I will start from what I will absolutely be checking, and then I will explain everything the meta and so on and forth. So USS 9. The nerf it received was to the bullet speed as well as mobility. What it means is that the gun is still usable, but it performs slower in all regards, and it kind of moves it a bit farther away from aggressive SMGs and closer to mid-range like PDW, PP90 Bison, CBR4, and others. And so the slowness of the USS 9 now, what it means to other weapons, is that they now have a better fighting chance. And for this reason, Peacekeeper is a weapon that I was trying out for a few seasons and making videos, and it was really good. It is really good, but if the lobby was full of enemies with USS 9s, it was a bit harder to perform well, and I would have to switch to another loadout. But now, when USS 9 is slower, I think that Peacekeeper really has a very nice spot in the metagame. Well, now I say think because I haven't played after the update, I was working, but now I finished work, so I make this video, and then I will start testing everything, so you will be seeing these videos. Now the Kilo 1-for-1, it got buffs to the mobility and a lower arm damage multiplier. Now the mobility buffs, what is actually funny is that I remember when the gun was top meta and I was using it in Battle Royale. I played Battle Royale mostly back then, and it received nerfs to the mobility, like marksman barrel, the mags, they all were nerfed. So now you can kind of see that the nerfs were just removed and it got back to how it was before. Now, it does not mean that the gun is straight up now the best. Like CBR4, if we are looking at the CBR4, how it was when it was the top meta and how it is now it is actually a lot better because it got a few buffs. But being a lot better in the current metagame, it did not push CBR4 even back to the meta. So the Kilo, it will be better in terms of mobility, but it has to compete with the XM4, just a second, yeah, so the main meta direction, XM4 from Versatile, and here we have the Kilo. And this is a really big question, can it be better than the XM4 or the DireH? And I will be testing it out too, so I'm just going through the to be checked, which is a must to check weapons at the moment. Type 25, previous season I made a review of small mag high damage weapons, and it was pretty good in terms of accuracy. It already had a good bullet spread accuracy, and pretty much the main con was the mobility. Now the mobility did not get a buff, but the fact that the bullet spread accuracy was buffed means that we can try a different gunsmith and just remove some attachment that improves the bullet spread accuracy and add something like the IKM light stock for better ADS movement. And I will be testing it out for sure as well. And mod to check, well, Mag 10, just because it got some buff and is kind of a okay aggressive SMG. ASFAL because it has been out of meta for a long time. And the buffs, well, they are not too significant, but I really want to try it out. Maddox, the same story as the ASFAL, really grows at you. RUS, AMAX, HBR just because when it was buffed, it wasn't buffed now. But I said that it is pretty usable, so I just want to check how it performs in the current environment with USS 9 being weakened. And the Chopper, well, just because previous season it was a very quite common, very usable weapon, and I made a video on domination, it was pretty nice. So I just want to also check what's up, what's going on in the season 8 with these guns. But these are the main must check. These are also check, but like, if I'm going to see that the weapon just does nothing, I will not try to make a video. Of the meta, so here we have the meta of season 7. Here I just divided it in like function, the aggressive weapons, the mid-range, the versatile, the range. Now Odin, it can be range or even in the mid-range or like versatile, depending on the build. But the build that I'm using is the range one, so I just put it here. But I mean, it is a unique case, you can put it here, here, here. Now other, so the Termite Manowar, SKS Type 63, because we are pretty good at all ranges, but have some drawbacks. For Manowar it is the max size, for the marksman rifles it is just that we are hard to control. But I cannot put them in any of these categories, so we are going to the other. And the snipers too. And so now the balance changes. These buffs, or well, USS 9 nerf, I think are impactful. RAM 7, it is actually not a buff or nerf, but it is just a new weapon with a mythic. And previously, when we had the seasons of BP50 dominance, USS 9 was added. We both shared a season where they both were top meta. Then BP50 was nerfed again and USS 9 remained. And I'm pretty sure that the same thing is going to happen now, that RAM 7 will either be top meta right off the bat when it is released, or Season 9 we are getting another nerf to USS 9, it will start to disappear, and RAM 7 will be the main meta. Because in my 2 years of meta review I concluded that top mythics will remain in the meta for about a year, and USS 9's time has run out. So surely it will be replaced by the RAM 7, because next season we are not getting a new mythic. So prepare, the RAM 7 meta is coming. Now Kilo, I already talked about it, Type 25 as well. Locus, it is a pretty usable sniper, now it got some mobility buffs, that is really nice for it. Outlaw, well, it is good, it has the best mobility if I'm understanding snipers correctly, but the damage isn't the best. So it is kind of usable, and with buff it makes it pretty valid to like at least mention in the notable balance changes. And these are balance changes that aren't really notable. And now the operator skills, well, the death machine will last 5 less seconds, which is, I would say, impactful. Like when I pop the operator skill and it expires quickly, it happens. I cannot see that like all the time, but often. So it is a bad nerf. Now Tempest nerf does nothing. It will just mean that if you don't die when you get hit by the Tempest, you will be only stunned for 2 seconds, not 5. But well, personally, whenever I get hit by the Tempest, I just die. So it does nothing. Tactical redeployment will have, if I remember correctly now, 3 respawns, which is pretty impactful. Like 3 times it will be respawning in the tactical redeployment location where it is deployed. Cluster Strike will cost more. I'm pretty upset about it because I used it for many seasons. It is one of my main like finishes. To just end the match, I drop it on the last OBG area, enemies die, my teammates get inside, we take it, we win. And it can clutch a match. Now it will cost more to activate, to unlock, but it is not too notably more, like I'm still getting reps in most matches, or like every other match, so I should be able to get Cluster Strike as well. Now Havoc, it got, I think, radius increasement. I'm not looking at any notes right now, I watched, like, I read everything earlier. So I could be wrong, but it is not too impactful. Flash Strike, I have never used it and never saw it being used. I don't think that it really matters. Now this section of other are basically other weapons that I have to try out and that are like in the meta. HVK, it wasn't really good, but now that USS 9 is not as good as it was before, it gives HVK another chance, at least makes it worth to try, but I don't expect it to be drastically great now, so I did not write it in the to be checked section. HBR is there, KN44 just because it is a good versatile aggressive assault rifle, Type 19 because I still see it being used, even though I think that it is not really good anymore. And it used to be one of my most used weapons, like, since the release. So when I say that it is not good anymore, I would like to think that I know what I'm saying, you know. And more, well, the Holger 26, I kind of prepared a video. It got a buff in Season 7, so I just want to check how it performs in the Season 8 metagame. MG42, because I still see it being, like, featured in various videos, so I think that it is worth to try. So I guess the most important part, so the Season 8 meta, this is the main meta, so VMP, Dirich, Odin, XM4, USS 9, I think it is still a very valid meta choice even though it was nerfed, it is not just as aggressive. And RAM 7, well, it hasn't even been released yet, but just based on all the calculations it has to be. Either it will be top meta right away, or it will be buffed in Season 9, but like, this is the new meta. And so these are the main. And this is just the list overall of the meta, like aside of the main ones there are also some other valid options to use. And here I just sorted them like the one is the aggressive, this is the mid-range, this is the versatile, this is the range, and these are the others. And I wanted to sort them just so it would be clearer, like how they differ, how they are similar compared to each other. So this is the meta list. I will just hang this for a few seconds so you can pause, maybe take a screenshot if you want. I think that this review is like pretty valid and accurate. Now, of course, when more YouTubers make the best meta weapons videos, I will make a comparison like I did previous season as well. And I will make my best loadouts videos always too. But well, I just wanted to make an initial review, kind of also for myself, just so I would know what is must to try out, what I can also try out, and just overall outlook how the meta looks like. Because I think that knowing the meta is important, like before you even click start to the rank match, you need to know this. You need to know what to expect, you need to know what guns are good. And so, yeah, I just wanted to make this video. I hope that you found some value in it, yeah.